I know, that's so exciting.
Good morning and welcome to today's uplifting conversation. Can we just do a sound check there, Jess?
Hello, testing.
Hello?
1, 2, 3.
I can't
Hello.
hear you.
Oh, is that
Oh, hang
working?
on. No, yeah, that's better. Yes, that's
Is that
working
better?
now.
Okay. All right.
Hello and welcome to today's show. I am so excited to have you here with me, Jess. This is my beautiful friend Jess Miller, all the way from Queensland. So I'm in
Sunshine
Tasmania.
Coast.
Yeah, the Sunshine Coast. So I'm in Tasmania, and Jess is in Queensland. And I really would like you to say hello if you are joining us live. We always like to have lots of interaction on our shows. So if you have questions along the way, please chime in and join us. And if you've got suggestions or anything that you would like to add to this conversation to make it rich and meaningful, we would really love your interaction. So today we're going to talk about essential oils and regenerating our healthy lifestyle, and talking about how oils have changed our lifestyle. And today Jess wants to share her journey of changing her diet and how that has worked for her, and also sharing her journey of using oils and how that works for her in her life as well. So welcome today, Jess.
Hello. Hello. I think I recall a couple of months ago I come on here and it was sort of like a watch this space situation where I was starting the Ningxia challenge, which was the Ningxia with a couple of drops of lime oil and 3 sulfazine tablets in there, which is really good for inflammation. The lime is really good for lowering your pH, because when you have a high pH, your health is, a lot of bad things like to live in your body. Um, and here's a couple of months later, and I've lost 5 kilo.
Wow,
The Yeah,
amazing.
I know. I
Five
actually
kilos.
am at the stage of going through my clothes that I could not fit into anymore, and they're fitting now, and actually have had to go down a bra size. So it's incredibly exciting, and it's been easy. Like, it hasn't been hard. It's actually been really, really easy. And I'm at the stage now where, again, like, I like to go up levels, and I've been organizing a little business as well, because my brain feels like there's clarity, because there's not all this other stuff and inflammation, and eating foods that are making me feel sick and stodgy, like bread, which I love. Um, so it's a very exciting journey. It all started when I met Kay. So Kay, you're my like catalyst.
Oh,
I like that.
that's
Kay
lovely.
the catalyst.
Okay, the
That's
kettle.
really awesome. So
I've never
you
been called that.
you have I know you have really helped to transform my life, because you introduced me to Young Living.
Mm.
So, and I did deviate off, because I hadn't really done oils before, had a little bit, and I deviated off, and I got cheaper brands of oil, which I've said before, but new people might not have heard that. And they did nothing for me. And even the smell was a bit offensive, actually. It was sort of like, oh, and I'd ran out of frankincense, so I got another frankincense, and I was actually repulsed by it, which was, interesting. So sort of like, then I'm like, just basically dived in, and sort of like, okay, this is, the what do you call it? The starter pack, which
The starter
has which
bundle.
has the which has the oils behind me and a lantern as well. Um, but I've got my other one up there. Um, and that, yeah, that just made me like there's little steps along the way, and also listening to Kay and how to use the oils properly, because it's not just sort of like slap and whatever. Like you can, and that does change your vibrations, but when you use them with intention and you learn how to use them properly, is when it actually, the transformations start to happen. And it's not just, you take the oils, there's more to it too. There's your mindset, there's also the health of what your body is at. And I was at a space where my health was so bad that I couldn't really think for myself. So I had brain fog, I was headaches. I put on 20 kilos in like 3 years, menopause, all this stuff was going on. And it was just like, I could not stop to think. Even to cook a healthy meal was an effort. So it was quick fix solutions that are more like a Band-Aid and don't do anything. So, when I started doing these, and I'm like, I could see changes, and I could see changes in my health, and I could start thinking clearly. That's when I started getting into the supplements, and more for my eye health, because my eyes were really quite bad, and for inflammation. So it was the BLM, the sulfazine, and the Illuminize. And then when I felt, and also started eating a bit better. And then it sort of took me to the next level of, okay, my spiritual side was in need of, like, because it all works as like a whole, to make you like a whole person. So that's when, frankincense was really, I got 3 wise men, and that sort of helped me to connect to my higher self. And so I started in Healers Rising Academy, which they teach you more about your metamorphic self, and, expanding into your higher self, and to really start connecting with, the spiritual side of what's inside you. So then it was, and the whole time being cushioned, because your body's going through its cleansing out of toxins, and it's just being like supported through all of that. Well, that's how I feel, that I've just been supported through all of that. With like this morning, I was a bit nervous about coming on, so I put my Valor on, which I love.
Works a
I had
treat.
to race around the house trying to find it, because it goes in my bag. It stays in my bag, because I'm a bit of a hermit. And there's a few of you that have seen my journey and seen where I was a while ago as to now. And I almost feel like I'm glowing.
I love that statement, because I feel that's what these beautiful products do for me. And I have so many friends who look at me and say, "You haven't changed." I know I have, but and your daughter's just chimed in, "You are glowing, Mum." So it is nice when other people notice the changes in you. So people I know who I haven't seen for a few years will say, "My God, look at you. You look so well and vibrant." And then I just feel like saying to everybody, I just run on oils. They keep me going.
Oh, frankincense for the wrinkles, and like the blemishes that I had under here. Like, I had like the age spots and blemishes, and I had this big one on my nose. I had like this freckle on the end of my nose was actually really quite dark. Like, it was like this black spot, like I'd accidentally got myself with a piece of pen. And people would sometimes comment on that, "Oh, you've got a mark on your nose." And I'll be like, "Yeah, it's just a freckle." And that's really lightened up a lot. I don't actually get asked that anymore. So,
Yes.
too bad it's not a mole on the end of the nose, and then I'll be a true witch.
You be true witch. Ah, you're
Mm,
witchy enough. We have Paulette commenting, 3 wise men on the third eye is amazing. And
mm-hmm.
this, I would totally agree with that. So if anyone is, looking for support when you want to really tune in and do some deep meditation, or just want to come to a state of peace within yourself,
Oh,
and
come here, Tom. Hang on, can I just show
enjoy.
you something? No, Tom, can I just show them? Because this is about the oil. So Tom really likes Ningxia, and he asked yesterday if he could put one in the freezer and have it as an icy pop.
Yes.
So I'm going to have a little taste. Hey, what are you doing?
Now they're going to argue
Mm.
about it's all the ninja.
Oh, that is actually really good.
Very good. Oh, look, he loves it. I love that. Now, what better way to support your family with something like
No,
ninja?
you
Now,
can have it,
Jess
sweetie.
has got a little sachet there that her son is enjoying, and he was smart enough to put it in the freezer, which is what my grandchildren do. They come and sometimes they say, "Can I have an icy pole?" And a Ningxia icy pole. And I say, "Oh, I don't think there is any." And they go, "Oh, yes, there is, because they've already come and stashed one in there." So really enjoy that
I
part.
love that.
So let's have a little bit of a talk about Ningxia. This, and I don't know whether you can see, for those watching, some people will be listening without the visuals. This Ningxia bottle here, I have a 750 ml bottle, and in the bottom, about the bottom, I would almost say third, is full of the pulp of the fruit that is in this bottle. And what they do is they cold press. They press it together so that all the skins of the fruit are intact. So most fruit juices, that is not what happens. But with Young Living, we know the value of that the fruit has in the peel. So it is all compressed in here, and in here we have goji berry, or wolfberry, some people know it as Ariona berry, pomegranates, plums, and there's one more.
Mm.
Um, blueberries. So, and there are essential oils in here, which makes it a really tasty and a beautiful, healthy drink. So, Jess, you were talking about eliminating. So, this drink supports all the organs in our body. So it's going to help with the cleansing process. It's going to help with the support for all your nutritional needs. It is absolutely fantastic, and good to know that children love it as well. My grandchildren adore this drink. Now I'm sitting here with I've made my glass up for today. Jess has got her bottle,
I've got my
and
bottle.
in there you've got your sulfazyme capsules. Have
I
you?
actually haven't put them in this morning. I didn't have
Okay.
time.
Yes.
But I have the 2 drops of lime and 60 mils of Ningxia and the rest water.
Yes.
Because I
And then you
actually the
just
last couple of days haven't been drinking enough water, and I actually took a break off this for 3 weeks. I've still been having the Ningxia, but I took a break off the sulfazine and the lime because with the eating program I've been doing the last 3 weeks, I've been in the detox stage of that. So and when you're in the detox, you don't want to overload your body too much and you let the body sort of like, and I do feel that you got to take a break from things sometimes too, like because I'd been having it for 2 months with the lime. I thought, no, I need to have a break off it. Where but that just fits me. I think you could continue doing it, but for me, I felt because I was detoxing, my body just needed to learn how to do its own thing a little bit. Like I felt like good enough and healthy enough that I was set to do that. So
yeah. Okay. That's good. Now, in mine, I've been putting BLM, and you mentioned BLM. So, for those people who don't know what that is, it's one of our supplements called bones, ligaments, and muscles. And it is a great recovery supplement. It has oils in it as well. I think it's copaiba oil, and that is going to support your body. If a lot of sports people, they know that they need to keep that nourishing going on. I'm a bit older and I want to make sure that I'm looking after my bones, my ligaments, and my muscles. So I like to take that, and I just open the capsules and I pour them in my drink, and I often take them that way. So anyone who feels like their body needs support, we have got so many options with Young Living, and it makes it a lot very exciting because they're all infused with essential oils, which Gary Young discovered meant that the oils are, the supplements are absorbed by your body at 30% higher rate than supplements with no essential oils in them. So that's an added advantage that we have with Young Living as well.
That's
Now,
quite amazing too, isn't it? Like I've actually recently, because as I said, like my brain fog is nearly dissipated,
yes,
that I've been watching the old videos of Gary Young, and it makes me even more proud and excited. And the intention, it's that intention behind it, and that like integrity, and just that family story as to why he's on this journey, and how many species of plants he's saving, because a lot of plants like frankincense need it, like they grow in a certain area and they grow wild, but because of like popularization and everything, like all these landscapes are going, and he's helping to save these sacred places, or yeah, and it's still helping. Well, he helped because he's not, but the legacy that he left behind is still continuing. And the schools that he's created, like it's this whole, it's not just like I've got this business to make money and prosper and be rich. It's like I'm wanting to do this to help people, and just the fact that they will, if a crop is not at its optimum, it won't be used. That's
well,
that crop
it
for the
will
year.
be used, but not by Young Living. It gets
Yes.
put
Oh,
into
that's yes.
big containers and sent off to other companies who like to sell essential oils, who are not focused on the quality of the product, and that
Mm-hmm.
is what makes Young Living so different.
Mm-hmm. That's a little bit like comparing home brand to a really good quality brand.
It could well be. So
Mm.
one of the stories that our some of our members in Young Living came back with after visiting one of the partner farms in Spain, pretty sure it was Spain, where they distill one of our frankincenses. And in that factory, they have two parts where the distillation takes place. One part is specifically for Young Living, because we have a requirement about how our oils are distilled. And then in the other part of the factory or the distillery is the oils that everyone else wants to buy. And they're distilled quicker. They're distilled in a different way so that the company would be getting better profits, buying it cheaper, offering a cheaper quality of oil for people who are interested in saving money. But Young Living has the area of the distillery where we are distilling our oils with the quality control, with our seed to seal quality control. I was actually listening to Dr. Woolley this morning, and I'm actually doing a little course on learning.
Oh, he's amazing. I wanted to do that
oils.
too, but yeah.
Anyway, I can talk to you about that a bit more later. But he was, and I've only sort of vaguely glimpsed at it, but he did a little video about peppermint oil. And, don't get it from India, or don't get it from, there was a couple of places that he was suggesting you can not to get your peppermint oil because it didn't have the compounds in it that we want for the therapeutic value. So it is very, very important that we learn about these and come to understand that it is sometimes worth, well, not sometimes, to me, it's always worth paying that bit extra, because you will get a
Mm-hmm.
more concentrated oil. You will also get an oil that is going to have the therapeutic value that you want when you are using these oils. And you do want to make sure that there's no nasties in the oils. Like a lot of companies put a solvent on their plants to release the essential oil out of their plants. Now, as soon as you do that, you are compromising the frequency of the oils and the therapeutic value. Tell us a little bit about your diet, Jess. You were talking about your diet, and do you use essential oils much in your cooking yet? Is that something you have branched out into, or how do you?
I do. I do. I use basil. I use. My head's got like I've got nutmeg now, and cinnamon. So I've used them in a little bit of cooking, and coriander and cardamom, which is my favorite. I love cardamom. It's the best. It's the smell. Oh, it's just absolutely delicious. So yes, I have. In salads, in a bit of salad dressing too. So,
Yes.
so the eating plan that I've been on is basically it's called Eat Like a Human. And in the first 2 weeks of that, you basically it's abundance. So this eating plan starts off with abundance, because normally when you go on a diet, you basically go and it's like starve your body, and your body sort of like goes, oh, help me. And apparently that
Yes.
helps the body will hold on to things. So the abundance is in the morning, you can eat as much fruit as you like. It's like as much as you like no limitations, and variety. Like this is abundance. This is when life is fruitful. This is feeding your body, which will also help to replenish your vitamins and minerals and trace minerals into your body. So your body actually goes, oh, I can start storing all of this stuff now. And so as much fruit and vegetables as you like. And you can, and then a smoothie, like morning tea, you have a smoothie. But as soon as you eat anything else other than fruit, you're not allowed to have fruit anymore. So usually I don't have fruit after my morning smoothie, because that's usually filling enough to last till lunchtime. Uh, it's lots of nuts. So a quarter of a cup in the morning, a quarter of a cup in the afternoon, or you can have the whole half a cup any way you like it, like snack on nuts. And that includes pepita seeds and like sunflower seeds, eggs, bacon, like eggs and bacon for lunch. So it's basically like paleo type way of
Okay.
eating, but it starts off like, so you're basically loading your body so your body feels safe enough to then let go of toxins and let go of weight. So it's
Oh,
like
that's
this.
interesting. Yes.
It's really, really interesting. Like I've never heard of something like this before, but this was through my Healers Rising Academy, that the lady who runs the whole thing, it's a plan that she did a lot of investigations on, and she got in nutritionalists and everything, and she loves Young Living and
Oh,
Ningxia. Just saying. So
yes.
this is someone I listen to. um, so, but then there's no's. There's no's of what you can't eat. Which, hang on, I've got it. I've got a little written out thing here. So the no's are, so your do not eat. So beans, pulses, legumes, and like chickpeas, grains, including all flour, high oxalates, no spinach, kale, chard, beets, etc. Seed oils, canola, sunflower, safflower, grapeseed, margarine, etc. You can use butter. No processed or replacement sugars, and no alcohol, but you can have maple syrup.
Hmm. So
So
that's interesting. No legumes.
when you eat her, this is her, so I'm not being gospel, but this is what she says. So don't don't take me, but I've looked into this a bit
Mm.
more. When you eat beans and legumes and peas, the energy that your body has to produce to process those um, foods is more like it, you leach out more minerals and stuff from your bones to process those foods. Unless you are in supreme optimum health
Mm-hmm.
and your whole body, like your minerals are all good and you're all replenished and you know no parasites, so you've detoxed and you're in optimum health, then you can process them really well. Um, the oxalates, which I was really surprised with the spinach and the kale and the beets, that's the same thing. The energy your body has to create to process those foods is more than the input that you get from those foods. When there's other foods that you can eat that do the same thing with less energy that your body produces to process them and make them
Mm-hmm.
into something. Which is interesting because the health people really promote those foods.
Yes, well, I find it all confusing because so many people have answers to diets these days. I've even been
Hmm.
following a naturopath who had diabetes, what else? Maybe blood pressure. I'm not sure what other issues she's got, but I think her diabetes was the key, that she needed changing, and she was very, very, very overweight.
Hmm.
And she's posting photos on Facebook, and she's just eating meat and eggs and butter, and everything is protein. So she's basically gone total carnivore, which I find interesting. It will be, um, I'm curious to watch her journey as time goes on.
Yeah,
So,
I've heard that one too, and I'm really interested in that as well. Um, but it's one of those things where not everybody is the same, and what
I
works for one person doesn't work for another.
I
You
think
know,
that's an important key for sure. Yes.
hmm, absolutely. Like I'm finding this really, real and really easy for me because I love fruits.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I love a lot of the vegetables. So for me, and I did paleo before, and I lost 8 kilos in 12 weeks, easy, like easy. So
Yes.
there's bone. So with this one, you're allowed to have a lot of bone broths,
Yes.
um, you know, all that sort of stuff. Um, so you limit caffeine because in the first couple of weeks, it's not about depriving your body. It's about letting your body feel comfortable, about letting your body go, ah, this is nice. I'm in a season of abundance. And, you know, so you're having a party, but a healthy party.
Yeah.
So you limit caffeine, honey, and pure grade A maple syrup, almonds, Brazil nuts, tree nuts, seafood to one time a week, alternative milks, no gums, lectins, and oils. So you can have your almond oil, you can have your almond flour, that they're okay. So the go ahead is fruits till lunch, snacks from snack list, meat, vegetables, eggs, and seeds in whole form, culinary herbs. So, but aim for organic and non GMO, which, you know, is a bit hard these days. But if you can, you know, so you do that for 2 weeks. 2 weeks of
Mm.
this, like, woo, life's a party.
Yes.
And then the third week, you start cutting down on a few things. So, okay, no caffeine, which I'm fine with that. So no, unless you can use caffeine as a medicine, you can use caffeine to if you're having trouble going to the toilet. So
As a
instead of
laxative.
yes,
Yes.
exactly. So or it can also work if you've got a headache. If you don't have caffeine every day, you've got a headache or a migraine, you can have a coffee, and the caffeine will open up like it would do something and can help
Mm-hmm.
alleviate a headache. And I've actually tried that before and it worked.
Okay.
So
Well, I
Yeah.
can't speak to caffeine because I don't actually drink it. I never enjoyed the first cup I had, and I made a decision I didn't want to enjoy it. So I didn't want to force myself to enjoy it. I think I'm a bit more of a sweet tooth. So for me, my Ningxia Red is my caffeine hit.
Yes,
So it
that's
gives me
my
my energy without the other interesting side effects that could well be there. But my motto is everything in moderation,
mhm.
and do what works for you as well. Now, Jess, I want to ask you, what's your use of oils throughout the day, or maybe your ideal day with oils? How do you start your day with oils, or do you use one? Do you use more than one? In what ways do you use them as well?
I start my day with oils usually. It's part of my getting ready routine. So frankincense on the lines and around my eyes, which is supporting my eye health, and the fine lines and wrinkles and the blemishes. And also, if I got any little sores or pimples too, I just sort of like do a little random, wherever I got. And then I'll sort of like do an assessment of how I feel for the day, whether I'm feeling energetic, whether I'm feeling a little bit low, whether other things outside of me have influenced me in a way, whether it's negative or positive. Also, what I have to do for the day. So if I'm tired, I'll use my energy,
Mm-hmm.
and a bit of orange, bit of lemon, because lemon's sort of like uplifting. Uh, Joy, like I like to use joy because that just smells really nice. Um, my progescence, which is for because I'm a little bit older, and that helps sustain my menopausal hormones.
Swings.
Um, yes, there's that too. And then throughout the day, I have my oils in little bottles. So I have one that's for if I'm around a lot of people. So it's got like pine, it's got some frankincense, it's got some. Oh, what else have I got in that one? A little bit of clove and some orange, and then I think it might it's maybe got some others just for a little bit of smell because I sort of like put them in, and it's got to smell nice too.
Yes,
Because
absolutely.
some oils can smell really quite strong and pungent, and not necessarily a really like, oh, that's a really nice smell. Because I use them as a perfume, so I'll put a couple of drops of geranium in there to give a little bit of this sweet floral flavor. And geranium's really good too for all of that sort of vibrations in the air. Uh, and then I have another one that's just like, oh, I just feel like smelling nice and an uplifting. So that's more, it's got jade lemon, bit of peppermint, because that's all nice when it's a hot day. It helps cool you down. Bit of peppermint, same geranium. I think this one might have some geranium bourbon in it, which that's a
Mm.
bit of a more of a musky sort of like a smell. And some copaiba too to help. What is that? Copaiba helps the oils to. It
Well,
sort of puts the oils up to the next level. It like
yeah.
activates them
So
or something.
yeah, sometimes they say Capaba magnifies the ability to work in your body, but what it actually does is helps to prepare the receptors on the cells to receive the other oils. So it magnifies the potential of the oil. So it's a really good oil to add to your blending, and particularly if you want an oil for some body work. Copaiba is a great oil. And it actually works on your carbanoid system, and that's a whole art or science of its very own. So I don't know a great deal about that, but we all have a carbanoid system in our body, and I'm guessing if it goes out of balance or it switches off or it's not working, we need to bring it alive to bring the rest of us back into balance. And that's really what we're doing when we're using oils. They have this ability to bring us back to a state of balance. Um, so that if we are out of
Mhm.
whack, and it was interesting at the beginning of our conversation, you were talking about, you had head fog. You talked about a lot of things that you were experiencing, and how once we start cleansing and even losing weight or doing whatever we need to do to start turning things around, then we get clarity and we get this ability to really follow in the footsteps of whatever it is, that driving force that has us geared up to go in a certain direction. Now, we can all have ideas that drop in, dreams and ideas, but I'm always talking about what action are we going to take towards them.
Mhm.
So, what
Mhm.
action are we going to take? What are we prepared to give ourselves so that we can make those changes that we are so yearning for? And I love it because you've, looked at your diet alongside what you're doing with Young Living as well, and you're also in a group where you're getting mentoring. Now, tell
Mhm.
me a bit about your intentions. Do you write them down? Do you say them to yourself? Do you have sticky notes? How do you work with your intentions and your
Uh,
oils?
Well, I do a lot of scribbling on pieces of paper, which then end up getting spread everywhere. But I've actually started being more organized, and I've actually got myself a little office, which I'm sitting in. I'm like quite
Yeah.
proud of that.
Yes.
And my intentions are I would like to expand into oil readings and like making up people an oil, like do and where I'm helping people to sort of like um, learn to answer their own questions,
Mhm. Yes.
because we all go seeking questions from everybody else, and really the answer is within.
Mhm.
Like that's what I feel like. You mentored me to here, which I want to help people.
Mhm.
I want to share what I know and what's helped me. So, and I want to integrate that with crystals as well. Like it's a crystal oil kind of little
Mm.
little thing. I'm still in. It's the thoughts are still forming, which is where I've actually started writing them down.
Still in the
But it
creative
actually
stage.
it is like, but it started with the okay, I want more. Like, I was just plodding along through life. I was just working. I was just, you know, yeah, and happy with what I do. Like, I love my work, but I feel like there's more to this. I feel like there's more to life. I feel like I've got more to give.
Well, I think you've got a real purpose because you
Hmm.
embody your learnings, and you're a bit like me. Once you know and you've learnt all these things, then you kind of think, well, I just feel so good. I just want to pass this on. Now,
Hmm.
I know that when I first began using Young Living, I had no intention of going into business, but
Hmm.
I am one of those people that wants to give to others and I want to make a difference in the world. And you're one of those
Abs-
people. Well,
Absolutely. Like, I would not have thought that 2 years ago I'd be sitting here right now doing this and actually going through my house, spring cleaning, because that's all part of it too. Like, the whole
yes.
clutter wasn't just in my head, it's in, and there's still quite a way to go, but I'm probably three quarters of the way done.
Oh, that's good.
You
Mm,
know, maybe two-thirds. Look, it might be
yes.
being a bit
Yeah.
excited saying, but or I'm at the stage now where it's kind of a little bit messier than what it was, because things have been bought out and it's like, well, where's that going to go? And I
Yes.
think that's just going to go, and I want to have a garage sale kind of thing. So it kind of looks a bit more like, am I just moving in now? And actually, my partner said that to me. He goes, because I was unpacking stuff and bringing stuff out, and like behind me, organizing, and I've made this nice little, this little space over here,
Yes.
and so it's just, and he goes, oh, we've been here for over 2 years. He goes, oh, how lovely of you to finally move in.
But isn't that nice that he's acknowledged that your
Mm-hmm.
energetically, as well as physically, but you've aligned that. That's really that's
Mm-hmm.
good noticing.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe some of that will rub off on him. That because sometimes when we're living with somebody else or other people around us don't quite get what we're doing and what we're on about, because they see this, we're using these oils all the time, and it becomes an intricate part of our daily life.
Mm-hmm.
And not everyone appreciates that. Like, this is my little pouch that I take with me everywhere I go. And it's not actually quite as full as it can be sometimes, but it's just good to have something on hand. I was out
Mm-hmm.
somewhere the other day, someone fell over. Oh, just grab your lavender oil, or someone's talking about a sore neck, and you just get your deep relief out, and I'll try this, and
Mm-hmm.
people just are amazed that you've got something there. Now, we're not used to being, um, it hasn't been promoted that we carry our little toolkits with us, and I call them a healing toolkit.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not used to that, and a lot of us, we might wear crystals, or I'll take my water with me, for example. But these days, I take a fully mixed up drink of Ningxia Red, ready to go, and drink it like you on the go, and you're just drinking it. If you go somewhere for the day, you're well armed with what you need to drink, and you don't actually have
Yep.
to stop that coffee or the
Mm-hmm.
hot chocolate or whatever. So it is a way of saving money. And that way you don't have to bother about cafes and
Mm-hmm.
things like that. You don't have to stop and go, where am I going to find somewhere nice to have a hot drink or something? So you could, rather than that, you can go down to find a nice park or a bench by the ocean or something, and just go and enjoy the outside and
And
enjoy what nature.
actually be taking in something that's not going to be a like an hour burst of energy. It's actually going to
Yeah.
sustain you for through the afternoon. Like, I like to take the sachets. Like,
Yes.
I have a
Yep.
couple of sachets in my bag, and even
Yes.
sometimes just in the car, so it's like it's there, but usually I take them
Yes.
in my bag. Because some afternoons or some days, like when I'm working, I don't know where I'm going to be, so I don't carry my lunch around.
Yes.
And so it's sort of like, I have a little tub of nuts in my bag now, and I have a couple of Ningxias, because
Yep.
that is enough, and it gives you that, especially like the afternoon slump or in the morning when you're like, oh,
Yes.
didn't sleep, like, because I sort of like stay up a bit sometimes, but I'm working on my sleep patterns now too, of
Yes.
making myself go to bed early. But if I go to bed at 11, I'm up at like 5. So I kind of, like, my body's decided it only needs about 6 hours sleep. That's it.
Mm. Yes.
And it'd be like, oh, I'm awake now, and I'm like, okay, so I kind of prefer to go to bed a little bit later, so I kind of wake up at 6 instead of
Mhm.
waking up at 5,
Waking up at
especially
5.
with winter coming.
And I think yes, and well, for me, I'm a bit the same. If I go to bed too early, I'm awake really early, although actually this morning I embraced that and got up and had quite a few things off my list that I needed to do today sorted before, it was too, before long, like,
Mm.
by 7 o'clock, I think I'd ticked a few things off my list of life. So it's about going with the flow and being
Well,
changed.
I watched the sunrise 2 mornings
Ah,
in a row. I
yes.
love watching the sunrise. It's absolutely
Mm,
beautiful.
mm.
And so
So
I
if we
embrace that too.
Yes, absolutely. So if once we set the scene for making some of these changes to our life, and not, I think for me, it's not being in that daily rush so much either, pacing yourself. I'm actually loving the fact that we're off daylight savings here in Tassie now, so going to bed earlier seems to be a lot more easier to do as well, when it's not, because here it can be in the middle of summer, it can still be light at like 9 o'clock at night
Mm.
before it's, that the shift into the night, the evening. Now, what about seasonal changes? Because we are going through a change of season at the moment. And what I like to do is talk to people about what oils are going to be good to have on hand for the change of season. So do you have one that comes to mind? Or have I put you on the hot seat?
No, well, that's it. Really interesting, actually, because the first thing that comes to my mind is cinnamon, which is a blood heater. I don't know.
So
Like I've
yeah,
never
no,
actually
well, I
thought
would
about
agree.
oils. I've never thought about
Well,
oils for seasonal, and going into autumn and winter, I'm thinking, well, cinnamon bark, because that it heats the blood, so warm you up a bit more.
warming oil.
And I'd say like lavender.
Yes. Well,
Uh,
lavender's good for all seasons, all year round. I'm
mm,
thinking of thieves because we want to support our healthy bodies and keep them supported. So, if people are looking for what oils they need to put in their order this month or what oils, to look for in their supplies, thieves would be number one. I would make sure that I had plenty of thieves stocked up. And in actual fact, I think I got a free 15 mil thieves last month. So I'm pretty organised for an unopened 15 mil. But what about, lavender, because it's a Swiss Army knife of oils. We use that all the time. And making sure you've got some eucalyptus oil, things that are going to help clear your airways. I love Breathe Again. I don't know whether I don't have, oh, hang on, what have I got there? No, they've got, in my bedroom, I've got my Breathe Again, but that comes in a roll on like the Vela one. So it comes in a roll on, and if you
nice.
and things like that, and a bit blocked in the nose, Breathe Again is fantastic to rub down the sinuses here to help with, any mucus issues, anything like that. Peppermint
Mm.
oil is good, also good warming one, and
Would
put a drop.
aroma size be good for this
Yes, there's some great oils
season?
in that
Mm.
because there will be oregano, thyme, I think. Or I better just have a little look. I better not start listing them, but there's some really powerful oils in aroma seas. Here we go.
Mm.
Yeah, basil, marjoram, lavender, peppermint, and cypress. Great for invigorating, and yet it's calming. It says here, it's a good muscle rub as well. So if you want to go out and do your daily workout or some sort of exercise, it's a good one to
Or
apply
you're feeling
before.
achy because you've maybe
Yes,
caught a bug?
yes, yep. So it helps. Says in my little book here, it helps with a full body massage, aids in releasing negative memories that can be held in your cellular muscle memory from this lifetime or past lifetimes. So
Oh,
I
that's
know with
interesting.
the
Mm.
marjoram, their muscles love marjoram. So if you
Mm.
want to relax the muscles and just relax the body, if you're feeling uptight and tense, marjoram is a good oil. It's also a beautiful oil in dressings or any cooking that you want that beautiful marjoram flavor.
But just a little bit, just a
Yes, a little
toothpick.
goes a
Just
long,
just
long
stick
way.
just stick a tooth. I put too much basil oil in a dressing I made the other week, and
Yes,
why
basil
didn't I
oils.
just get a toothpick? I kind of just did a
Yes,
drop, and a drop
yeah.
is way too much.
I did that with some friends the other day who hadn't used oils in their cooking, and I didn't mind it, but the other people, it was a bit too strong for them. So just start
Hmm.
with one oil. And yes, so you get your toothpick, you pop it in the top of the bottle, and um, drop off any excess, and then just swirl that through your food.
And it will
Just a
be enough, trust me. It's like, otherwise it'll be. Uh, I could have made it bigger by like four, I reckon. Like how much I put in, it was just a drop, and it
ah,
was like, but
yes, yeah,
it was still not like, I still liked it because I knew,
yes.
yeah. But I could, yeah, that's a little
Yeah,
bit
a
too
bit too
much.
much. So you can always
Mm.
add some and you can't take them away. I know I
Hmm.
made some stewed apple on the weekend and put a few drops of, I can't remember one of the powerful oils in, and there was finny because I'd had to open the lid because it was a nearly empty bottle, and a little bit too much came. So I just got a spoon. I thought, well, I'm not going to stir that around because I knew it was for other people as well. So I just scooped it out and
But
made
mind
sure.
you, on that too, like that's the culinary oils. But I find if I've got like a glass of water or even like the shot glasses of the Ningxia, like when I do it,
Yes,
sometimes I do a shot and
yes,
I'll put my mineral essence in it
yes,
and I'll put my black seed oil in it
yes,
and I'll put a couple of drops of lime and a drop of copaiba and sometimes a drop of frankincense. So they're all a drop. I'll mix it all up and I'll take it like a shot. And then I just end up with this like beautiful aroma in my mouth. It's like
yes,
you're tasting the aroma that's just, and it is like a hit, like a shot. Like if
yes.
you have a shot of vodka or something, you go, vodka, you know,
It's
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 sort of like you have
one of
this shot
those
and it's like,
things,
yeah.
but you know that it's going to really have all your cells are going to be enjoying all those beautiful
Mm-hmm.
oils, those healthy
Mm-hmm.
things.
So
So
it does
yeah,
all depend what oil, but the really, really strong ones, like the culinary ones, like especially oregano and thyme and the marjoram and sage, they're a really strong oil. So yeah, you don't need much.
yeah, exactly. A little goes a
Mm.
long, long way. There used to be an
Hmm.
ad around that.
But
Just
with that too, though, Kay, um, like I know that sometimes it's suggested to have, like a drop of oregano and that um, to take to help support certain conditions. And that's where you have put them in the little capsules, isn't it? Because I save all my sulfazine capsules and
yes.
BLM that I put in my Ningxia. So you can, um, if you know what you're doing, you
For
can
our
add,
USA followers, we are
yes,
allowed to talk about
yes,
putting
yes.
oils in
Okay, yes.
because in
Yeah,
the
okay, that's it.
USA, yeah. So in the USA, they're allowed to talk about putting oils in capsules.
Hmm.
In Australia, we have to talk about
I
the
didn't say
capsule.
anything. Nothing to see
Well,
here.
we have USA audience anyway, so
Mm.
we can still cover that as well. So in Australia, we are allowed to talk about oils in our food and drinks for flavoring purposes.
Yes.
However, all of our supplements have essential oils in them. So we know that there's value in that. So and they've all been listed with the TGA. So if you look at our inner defense capsules, they are full of oregano, and
Mm.
they are also something that I would be recommending to have on hand. I've
Mhm.
always got a bottle of inner defense on hand because I will take them, or particularly when I was teaching and I was out amongst kids and everybody, coming into a classroom with all sorts of things floating around the classroom, I would
Little
take
like
one.
microorganism city.
Yes, exactly. So I would just take one a day as maintenance. Now, if I'm like coming on winter, I might go back towards that. But if I'm around a lot of people or if I feel like I'm getting something going on, I will just take two of those capsules every couple of hours. And the next day you'll go, oh, that's right. I thought I was coming
Mm.
down with something
And
yesterday.
steam inhalation's really good in that
Yes.
situation. If
Yep.
you've been around anybody who's got a sniffle or a cough or you feel like you're getting a tickle, pine oil, eucalyptus oil, lavender oil, you can use frankincense oil in a, steam and
Yes.
steam inhalation for 5 minutes and it should really help you not to be sniffly yourself.
Yes. Yep. Exactly. So there's
Mm.
lots of ways diffusing them, putting them in. One thing I love to do, say with some peppermint oil, put a bit of peppermint oil in a coffee cup and add my honey because I love my honey,
Mm.
and do all that breathing, get your sinuses going, and then once it's cooled down a little bit more, you can drink it. So, I remember when I was a kid, Mum, we used to do the old bowl and a towel over it with eucalyptus oil in. You can do that as well. And just get those oils right through into your lungs. And then, as we know, breathing in oil means that within 20 seconds, those oils are dispersed right throughout the body via the bloodstream. Very, very powerful way to get started. Now, we are nearly at the end of our hour, and as usual, it always we start thinking now, well, how are we going to have enough to talk and share with for about an hour? And it always comes to that point where we go, oh, we're going to have to round it off. So what I'm going to round it off with is, if you have not got yourself some Young Living oils, it is time for you to grab some. And you can start with just one oil, and my recommendation is orange oil. If you are interested in giving them a trial, orange oil for $30, you can have an orange oil sent to your door for you to trial it. If you are interested in getting a little bit more serious about creating a beautiful, healthy lifestyle of your own, you might like to jump in with the premium bundle, which is about $282 delivered to your door. It's worth over $500, and
it's well and truly worth it.
12 oils, well worth it. Or you could even book yourself a one-on-one session with me, and if you need some transformation in your life, and if you would like some essential oil recommendations targeted specifically to you and your needs and whatever you're going through at the moment, you can reach out and you can book a time with me with my website, kayhamilton.com. That's KAYHAMILTON.com. Or if you still want to explore, or if you are not in our Essential Oil Wisdom group, the name is there on the screen, Kay's Essential Oil Wisdom, and you can come and invite yourself into that, and I will request you, and we'll be very glad to bring you into our group. So thank you very much, Jess, for coming along. I love talking to you, and I just truly adore how you've taken that little tiny diamond, and you are actually shining, polishing, and you're actually growing it, and it is just magnificent to see you change and grow. So thanks for coming along and sharing some more of your journey. I look forward to our next conversation next month, because you are one of our regular guests on the show these days.
I know, so I have to keep stepping it up. It's good. It sort of holds me accountable.
Yeah, that's right. It does. I mean, I know when I jumped into all this, it's like, oh my God, how am I going to do all this? And still have those moments, but generally we have it covered. And that's just because we love our oils and we love sharing them.
Absolutely.
And thank you to all those lovely people who've been watching, and thank you to those people who may be watching on one of the many platforms that you will hear us talk. So from my heart to yours, oil up, and everything will be oil right. And do you have a parting message?
I love that, oil right. That's really good. Have a wonderful rest of your day, people.
Thank you. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.